Hi everyone, I'm Lou and welcome to another episode. In this one, we're going to create a smooth, endless parallax background for your 2D Unity game. I already have a simple player, a basic player movement script, and a camera that follows the player. So, what's parallax? Parallax is a classic effect in 2D games that makes your background look deep and dynamic. It's when different layers of the background move at different speeds as your camera moves. And with endless parallax, you never run out of the background. Your game world just keeps going with no visible seams or empty space. This is why almost every successful platformer or runner game uses some form of parallax. It just feels good and makes your game look finished. For my art, I had one big background image. Then, using Krita, I cut my image into 4 different layers. This way, each part can move on its own. I have the sky as my furthest layer, then mountains, then a green jungle, and finally a road at the very front. To set up the scene, I simply dragged each background image straight into the scene from the assets. For each layer, I made 3 copies, so 3 skies, 3 mountains, 3 jungles, and 3 roads. I lined them up side by side in the scene view, each spaced exactly by the width of the image. For example, if your image is 28 units wide, you put one at -28, one at 0, and one at 28. Maybe you ask, why 3 copies? If you only have 2, sometimes you'll notice a visible snap when one image loops to the other side, especially if your camera or player is moving quickly. With 3, the swap happens completely off screen. One image is always waiting to jump in, and the transition is totally seamless. This trick is simple, but makes your parallax look much more professional, with no popping or flickering on the edges. Double-click to open it up. This creates a public variable, so we can set which camera the parallax should follow in the Unity editor. This is a public float that controls how much the background moves compared to the camera. This is the width of your background image in the world units. It's important for calculating when to loop the image to the other side. This creates an array to hold the 3 background images. We keep them here to manage and move them easily. This variable remembers where the camera was in the previous frame, so we can calculate how much it moved and move the backgrounds accordingly. The start function runs one time when the game begins. We use it to set up our script before the game starts running. We create a new array with space for 3 background objects. We grab the first, second, and third child objects of our layers in the scene and store them in the array. Now we can loop through them easily later. Here, we save the camera's position at the start, so we have a reference to compare movement in the first frame. Late update is called after all update functions have finished. This is a good place for camera follow and parallax logic, because it makes sure the camera has already moved for this frame. We figure out how far the camera moved along the x-axis since the last frame. This tells us how much the backgrounds need to move to create the parallax effect. We move the entire background layer to the right or left based on how much the camera moved multiplied by the parallax speed. We update the last camera's pose variable to remember the new camera position, so next frame's calculation is correct. We loop through each of our 3 background images to check if any of them need to loop to the other side. We calculate the distance from the camera to the background center along the x-axis. This keeps the three backgrounds cycling in a loop, always covering the camera view, with the swap happening far enough off screen that you'd never see a snap or pop. Let's save it and go back to Unity. Now let's add the parallax script to each background image. This script takes care of both the smooth parallax movement and the endless looping. Set the parallax speed for each layer based on how much you want it to move. In my setup, the sky is 0.9, mountains 0.8, and jungle 0.6, and road 0.4. Enter the correct image width. As I told you before, mine is 28. You enter yours. Drag your camera into the camera transform field for each background image. Let's hit play and watch our background. Perfect, it's working fine. With endless parallax, you can run forever and never see the edge. And that's it for this episode. If you like this tutorial or want to see more Unity tricks, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Lou, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!